welcome to Motor Finance Europe Conference 2021.
We hear a lot about the transformation of e-commerce and how it's changing the auto retail landscape. But actually, when you look at the tools that are being used, they're very much dealer-centric. And what I wanted to drive to the audience is that you have to have a customer-obsessed vision. And that means making every deal, every transaction for a car, whether it's choosing mobility, whether it's using your very traditional loan and lease for your financing, make this digital and allow the customer to have the same smooth and easy and convenient experience as with any Amazon experience and Amazon transaction.
One of the key areas is about how we can build customer loyalty. At the moment, I think that there is an over-reliance upon new product within that marketplace, but how can we bring about a change within that dynamic? How can we bring about a new type of product that will better suit the customer moving forward? And one of the points that I picked up on, Ray, was about how we can utilize data in a better way as well. How can we utilize data to try and engage the customer in a different way?
Firstly, leasing is in a very good starting position. There's a fantastic market to be part of it. Second, autonomous driving will pick up and maybe a major game changer. Let's talk in 1 decade.
Well, I would say it's all about electric transition. We are in the middle of a transition to the new electric mobility. So this goes along with infrastructure, the need for providing infrastructure to our customers, the need to cope with this new trend of disownership, which is a way of having things without owning them.
So it's really all about optimizing the products and then optimizing the online and the offline customer experience. It's such an exciting time in automotive with so many different startups and so many different business models emerging. And it's wonderful to see how we're providing consumers with different options so that they can find the product and the service that's right for them, whether it's a mobility solution, car buying, car financing, leasing.
Indeed, a very important change that we are all living with everything around climate change and the reduction of CO2. And we really think at RCI and Group Renault that the impact of the automotive industry on climate makes us quite engaged in those approach. So at the level of RCI Bank UK, we did implement a teamwork with our staff, our customer, our dealer, in order to improve our CO2 footprint, but also support the transition for our customers.
I think from Volvo Group perspective is when we talk about transformation, we talk about sustainability, and we see that is impacting our business and how we drive different business model. And of course, in there comes data, and that was discussed multiple times, but it's also talking about getting the right partnership. And I think this has been a good day for that. I think first and foremost, I think it forces us now to capture the data we have. We have more than 1 million connected vehicles out there, both trucks and construction equipment, and this has now made us use that data. So I think that's one side of that, and being more intelligent, providing more value to our business partners, but then also to our customers.
We've all seen that COVID has accelerated a lot of trends towards digitalization in automotive. We all saw that these things were happening in automotive, but especially with the onset of COVID, we saw more than ever that consumers are willing to purchase big ticket items such as cars online.
We really saw this Amazonification of the e-commerce space in auto retail. So there was a huge demand to provide this touchless experience to the customer. Deliveries shot up and everything that was enabling shopping online.
So we see the industry booming as we speak. We see new forms of mobility ramping up, including subscription, for instance. So our view is extremely positive in the foreseeable future. I would say that certainly this industry, the industry of finance and mobility, will grow until 2025 at full speed.
One of the big changes that we've seen is, and we've discussed it so much already today, it's the digitalisation, the need to adapt a journey. And interesting enough, we as Solify have have had to adapt our journey for a number of the motor manufacturers that we deal with. So whether or not that's the online purchase journey, so whether or not that's product relative, we've also had to look at the credit decisioning and how we've had to adapt that as well. But also then we've had to adapt the way that we can prevent fraud, so FCA regulation. But in addition to that, the documentation. So there's a number of key areas that we've had to adapt our product to accommodate the changing requirements of industry as well. And I think that's an evolution.
If you want to reduce your emission, if you want to get more digital, you can do it. On the digitalization front, if I take an example, the e-signature of contract, which we were not doing beginning of COVID, in 1 month after the start of the lockdown, we offered the solution to the dealer. So it just demonstrates how the agility needs to integrate every company and every industry. And as a captive, we need to provide our dealer, our manufacturer, our customer with that kind of service as well, which were definitely accelerated through COVID.
But I think what we all agree as well, and that was one of the key messages, that the motor finance industry is in a perfect starting position to be one of the key enabler for future new mobility, and they should take this advantage.
I think it's been a great conference. It is such a perfect atmosphere to finally being able to, mingle with other people, to have this social experience, to actually talk to somebody physically and not through a screen.
I think it has some great key speakers, some great keynote speakers, and it touches upon the relevant subject matters so prominent and so relevant to the current industry times.
It is a great event. I promise I'll be back if you invite me. It's a really nice place to be and exchange views and opinion with our colleagues.
Of course, technology has helped all of us stay connected, but it's just not the same thing as being able to meet people in real life and being able to, connect and exchange ideas. There's so much happening in automotive, so having, a platform like this to exchange ideas and to connect is just wonderful.
I think it's been a great conference, something that is worth taking time out of the agenda. A lot of good insights to build on, a lot of great presentation and a lot of good networking opportunities. And of course, it's finally now meeting people and it's so much easier than to interact, and also look forward to the evening here coming up.
And the winner is?